Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First, the podcast that delves into knitting, crochet, spinning, and all things yarn. I'm Lindsay, and I'm coming to you from Little Rock, Arkansas. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome, everybody. Today is Wednesday, August 21st, and just fair warning, someone in the neighborhood, it sounds like, is getting a new roof, so you may hear noises there. My cat is on the table being a little obnoxious. I have the spray bottle in case he comes closer and tries to nab at my yarn. So there's things going on around me. Fair warning. All right, well, if you are new here, welcome. Thank you for stopping in, checking this out. I do a traditional style podcast, and I hope you find something that you love and stick around. So I name every podcast after a song that I like, because before my love of yarn was my love and obsession of music, and I like most genres of music. So today I'm taking it way back to my old school boy band days, and today's episode 70, is Step by Step. That's right. It's New Kids on the Block. And I do have a playlist for this podcast on Spotify, which has every song since episode 1 of what I have named my podcast. So the link below is there. You can check that out if you would like to follow along. All right. So today's podcast, I am not wearing any knits, but I do have a finished object and a new cast on, some whips, a tiny bit acquisition we'll talk about with that, a future plan. So let's get into it. Just an FYI, I don't know what my hair's doing yet. I have only been awake for an hour. I'm still working on coffee. So I threw on a shirt and yeah, we're going to roll with it. Okay, so I have one finished object you may notice in the room. So I finished my test knit. This is the Bryce sweater. This is from Tristan of Dragon Hoard Designs. And this sweater uses Arkansas Yarn Co. Boucle. It's a DK Boucle base. The color is Party in My Mailbox, and Roller Derby is the hot pink. And I love this. Now this is, I will put in some pictures because I'm not going to put this on now. I will insert some pictures I have from my Instagram. And this is part of a pajama set that Tristan will be coming out with right now. I don't know if the testers are working on their shorts that go with this, also using the Boucle base. And so this is meant as a pajama set, but you could wear it out as a regular sweater. So the sweater itself is meant to have 20 inches of positive ease, which is a little bit extra for me. It has quite a bit, and it is a cropped sweater. And then the sleeves are more fitted. Now, I didn't do my sleeves quite as long as hers. I really get bothered if anything's longer than like bracelet length on me. So I love the length of my sleeve, but I will be putting in my notes of, I basically skipped one step. Otherwise, I went exactly to pattern as she wrote it. So when that pattern comes out, I will make sure to let you guys know. But this was a really well designed sweater. I have mentioned it before, but just one more time mentioning it. This is my first time that I have used the Boucle yarn. I did do a swatch because I didn't know how I would go. Usually I'm a really tight knitter, and a lot of patterns I have to go up a needle size. I had to go down 2 needle sizes for this sweater. I think the body called for a 6, and I had to go and use a 4 to get gauge for this sweater. So that was really interesting to me. And the Boucle would hurt my wrist after a while. I don't know if it's because the way I'm gripping it, but another friend of mine from the store who's also working on this testament has said the same thing. I enjoyed working with it, and the yarn itself is going to feel so good. It feels nice on. I'm happy I went through it, but it was a little bit challenging and nerve-wracking for a test knit with a time limit because I was afraid I wasn't going to get it done in time, which obviously I had to the end of this month, so I had plenty of time, even taking my time. I couldn't spend hours and hours working on this at a time. I had to take breaks. So, but love it, beautiful. I do have enough yarn to make the shorts that go with it, but I'm not going to test knit it because, again, I kind of need a break from, oh, what am I doing? I'm doing it inside out. I need a break from the deadline knits. So we are going to get a copy of the shorts because, like I said, the pattern, when it is released, it is really going to be released as a set. So it will come with this and the shorts with it. So that is the Bryce sweater. Okay, that is my only finished object. But again, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I was knit-fluenced by Lori. So I have a new cast on. All right. My new cast on is in this bag. This is a bag by KelleyEMcD. She does not have a shop, but if you follow her on Instagram, which I will have down below, she posts different bags, or you can message her through there and request to purchase a bag. So this is the braided bralette. Now Lori from Arkansas Yarn Co., my good friend and my boss, she cast one of these on. I don't even know how fast she did the first one. It looks so good on her. She cast a second one on, finished that one. She now has number 3 and 4 on her needles. She is getting ready to go on vacation and be in the vehicle, passenger princess, for many hours. So I'm sure by the time I see her next time, she will have number 3 and number 4 done. But I love this because the one thing, when Tristan was here, the three of us were talking a lot about designers and designers that really get not just test knitting done on their designs, but the grading done on their designs. They really understand shaping better. There are some that understand shaping better and some that don't. And I'm not naming names or anything like that because we all have our own favorite designers and that. But sometimes when you find a designer that you like, a sweater or garment fits you well, like you're like, okay, this is how it's meant to fit me, then you want to find other things by that designer. So this is that pattern. This was the first pattern that Lori has done by Chantal, who is Knitatude. And this is a bralette, but it just fits her shape so nicely. And there is many things in the garment pattern that really helps you navigate how to do that. So I think that's really cool. And so when Lori was telling me all that, I'm like, okay, I have to cast this on. So I looked through my stash. This calls for DK weight. I think she did do DK weight for her first 2. But then when she was starting on number 3, she was at home and she doesn't really have a lot of DK weight in her personal stash. So she grabbed 2 fingering to hold double, which is fine too. So I looked through to see if I had any DK ready to go, and I did. So here's what I'm using. And here's the yarn. So this is a Manos del Uraguay Milo base. It is merino plus linen. I have 2 skeins of this. This is 380 yards, and it's the color Bachata. I love it. And again, I've done linen blends, which I seem to like way better than just linen because it does not hurt my hand at all. So This is going to be lovely. Now I know we're at the end of August, which in the South where I'm at is still hot. It's still going to be hot for a while, which I'm fine with still making tank tops. But this is a really great piece that you can also layer under a blazer, a cardigan, you know, through the colder months. So I am still in the ribbing because there is a lot of ribbing. So Lori did twisted rib. She just, normally it's just knit one, purl one, regular rib. But Lori did twisted rib, and I love twisted rib also, how it looks. So I'm also doing twisted rib. Now, the thing about this yarn, I have used Manos de Uraguay before. The thing about this yarn, this is a DK weight, but if you look at the strand here, I'm going to see if I can get enough piece. There is definitely, it kind of reminds me of my spinning. Like there is definitely some thicker and thinner piecings going on. But I don't know if I've used this exact base, but I have found before that this yarn blooms afterward. And even though there's thinner and thicker pieces, now if you look carefully, you might be able to see some of the thinner pieces, but I don't think it disturbs the whole of the garment. I don't know why it's so wrinkly there. It just looks so wrinkly on camera. I guess because it's smushed in my bag. So this pattern calls for quite a bit of ribbing. Lori didn't do as much, but I think I'm going to do as called for, or maybe like an inch less. So I have still a few inches of ribbing, and this is not bothering me at all, which is so funny. Usually I get really bored and hate ribbing. This is not bothering me at all. I think because the yarn is just so lovely. And I've been doing it again intermediately, where I had an appointment yesterday, and so I just kind of not looked at it and worked on this during my appointment. It's great for that type of knitting. So I love this. I love this color, and I'm super excited to have this. So yeah, I'm hoping mine looks as good as Lori's because hers looks amazing. So that is my only new cast on. So let's get into whips. All right, whips. I have a half finished object. I've been really trying this month. Literally the last podcast, I had mentioned how the last 2 months of me doing my Desert Vista Dyeworks monthly challenge, where you knit a pair a month for prizes, that I think at least the last 2 months, I had finished the second sock on the last day of the month. And I'm like, okay, that's getting a little close there. So I've really been trying to make sure to bring my sock out and devote time to it. I think now that my test knit is done, I've worked on it more, because I really was concerned about that. I don't know why. I had plenty of time. But anyways, this is my Desert Vista Dyeworks sock for August. This is in her Viso base, and this is the color Neon Cotton Candy, and it is so fun. I love this one. These are going to be for me. So I am in my second sock, in my favorite sock bag, Trappings and Trinkets. And last night, I went to a trivia night, and I did the heel while we were there. So I am just past, here's my purse. You can see it kind of well. I do the shadow wrap heel. So I'm like 1 or 2 rows right past it, which means now I just have the foot and the toe. So I have plenty of time to get that done. So let me see. I'm going to show you the yarn caked up. Super fun. Yeah, so that has been going well. What else do I have? Okay, so you may notice I'm wearing a needle. I am so close to another finished garment that if I would have been, well, one, if I didn't sleep in this morning, and two, I would have been motivated to literally pick up stitches on the neckline and then I-cord cast them on. That's all I have to do on this sweater. And I got out the needles and I was going to put on a podcast and do it, but I have an appointment here in about an hour and a half, and I'm like, I just need a podcast now because I'm more motivated in the morning. So I knew after my appointment I was not going to be motivated to podcast. And it gets really hot in my front room here. So it's the Rocket Tee. For those that have been here for a while, this has been on my needles. I'm going to actually look at my project page when I started this. February 13th this year, I started this. So it has been ongoing for a bit. So this is the Rocket Tee. Usually it is a striped garment between fingering and a lace weight. I decided to do this one in all color. This is my second Rocket Tee, although I've also made the Rocket Tee DK version in a single color. So here it is. You can see last podcast, I was at the end and I was saying how I feel like it's almost at the right length. So I actually tried it on and I liked it. So I think I did a couple rows past that and I bound off. Sorry, I had to pause for my daughter. She was getting ready to leave. So, all right, what was I saying about this? So last time I was happy with the length, so I bound off. It is rolling right now. It is an I-cord bind off. That took me a few days. I took my time and was not in a hurry. I just picked it up, and then when I got bored, I put it down. But then I picked up the sleeve and did that in a one shot. Second sleeve. And so all I have left is to do the exact same thing on the neckline. Easy peasy. So this will be a finished object next podcast. So yay to 2 garments being done. This is when it's nice being a person that has so many whips, because sometimes it gets you down like you don't have anything finished. But then sometimes the timing just matches up where all of a sudden you have all the finishes at the same time, which is awesome. And the Rocket Tee also was on my Make 9 list for this year. So another one off of that list, which is super exciting. Okay, I have 2 more projects I've worked on. So this bag is a bag by Barley Purls. And this is my Mizzoni vest. I still haven't decided. If you've been watching, I have been kind of wondering if I need to add in an extra skein of color. So let me see. I basically have added 1 color since I have last showed it. So I'll show it on the side with the marker. My little dino guy. So here's one. It is a bottom up. I'm going to try to spread it out just so you can truly see the patterning. I love it so much. So again, my dilemma, because I'm getting to the point where I need to make a decision. So I am following basically, I don't want to give any numbers away. Let me see how to do this here. I'm basically following how many so here's like a chart, and it tells me how many rows of each color. So I start at the bottom. The bottom I also use for casting on, doing the ribbing, and then the chart is just for like the little chevron, the chevron part. So I am using 5 skeins. They're each 50 grams from Knitty McPurly, a set that I got last year that is no longer available. So this was my color A that I cast on at the bottom. This is how much I have left. No, I have not weighed it, and I'm not going to go get my scale now. But, so where I am at now, the collar is a different color, so it's not going to be this. It's going to be a different color. In fact, let me see. I know I have a picture on here. Here it is. So I don't need to worry about that color being for the collar. You can see it's a different color. But I'm worried because I do need that color A for, let's see, 20 more rounds, 20 more rounds total. I think this should be enough, but I feel like where I'm at in the colors, I had ordered 2 more skeins of yarn on the same base from Knitty McPurly, and I got like a, I got a light pink, but I also got a navy, and I kind of am thinking, so my next color after I finish this blue is back to color A. And I'm kind of thinking, well, that might be a good time to just color A now is the navy instead. So I don't want to like run out in the next section and then have only one little section for the navy. That's my dilemma. So what do you guys think? Should I just play it safe and switch my color A and then I can just put this in my scrappy blanket? Or should I risk it? Yeah. I mean, either way, it's a Mizzoni, which means all those chevron sections are different sizes. So I could make it work either way, but I really am kind of leaning towards switching to the navy. I think that would be a nice bold color to add to it too, but I don't know. I think maybe that's why I haven't worked on this one as much, because I know once I finish this color, I have to decide what I'm doing. So, give me your thoughts. What would you do? Would you risk it? And the other pink that I ordered is definitely not, like I can't just, if I'm in the middle of a section and run out of this, I can't just switch to that one and you wouldn't be able to tell. You would be able to tell. So it's not so close to that where it's the same thing. But I love this. It's so pretty. I love this so much. Anyway, that is the Mizzoni Best. Okay, I have worked on one more thing, and you haven't seen it for a little bit. I think because once I finished this, I like spreading myself out with projects, so I picked up another summer one that I had already started and spent some time on it. All right, this is in another KelleyEMcD bag. This is one that she custom made for me. I bought this fabric. It is BTS, who I love, and she made the bag for me. So this is the Sand and Sky. I keep wanting to say Sand and Stone. I don't know why. All right, so this tank top I started a while ago. Sorry, I'm getting my twice sheared sheep thing all tangled up in my yarn. So, and let me find again where I was at last time I showed it. So I've made quite a bit of progress. This, doesn't look like much. It's a stripy tank top. Again, this is bottom up. Doesn't look like much, but it is striping 2 different yarns. So I'm using Bamboo Pop, which is what it calls for in the pattern. Untangle here. So I use 1 ball each of Bamboo Pop. This is Bamboo Pop Sock, and this is Waves, and this is Corals. So you can see even it has some of the same blues from this in his. So it's kind of fun. I mean, this yarn already does like a striping. You can see when I'm using like the same ball here, the blues together. but then you like switch it up every so many rows. So again, I am just knitting in the round right now. I'm getting ready to do, I just started the waist shaping. So I'm going to be doing some decreases coming up here. But right now, this is just pretty much just a tiny bit of ribbing and then knitting in the round. But this yarn, I love how this feels on my hands. Let me see, do I have the tag? I do. This is, oh, and it shows, this is what the striping shows like normally. This bamboo pop sock, it's 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 492 yards, super fine. It is 55% bamboo, 37% cotton, 8% PBT. This feels so nice on your hands. So nice. Again, as I've mentioned a million times, I get bored with just knitting in the round. But that's why I only make so much progress on this and then I switch up projects. So, but this to me feels like a true summer garment. It's so nice and lightweight. It's drapey. It's going to be a nice one. So I am excited to have it done. But it'll be a while, and that's okay. So that is the last project I have worked on. I feel really good about my making these last couple weeks. Yeah. So I don't have any new podcasts to highlight this week. So let's get into acquisitions. All right, I don't have much, and two of them just I got yesterday. Sorry, I forgot to take this out of the bag. So one thing I got in the mail yesterday is for my Desert Vista Dyeworks sock make-along. Like I said, I earn prizes throughout the year. And if you've made it through June, the midway point, and you've done socks every single month, then you get to pick out any color you want, even if it doesn't say it's currently in her shop. I always, on Instagram, save colors that I like for her. So when I order, I know I look to see if she has them. So I looked for one that she didn't have in her shop that I had saved and ordered that one. So this was my free skein of yarn. This is the colorway Bamboozled. So super colorful. Again, interesting, the picture I have saved that she has posted on Instagram, you would not expect the sock to look like when you're looking at this skein. So I'm interested to see. It's going to kind of look similar to this. Like not true striping, a little bit of micro striping. So yeah, love this. So that was my free prize. And then yesterday I was in Hot Springs and I stopped in Books A Million store. And at work, I should preface this by saying at work yesterday, Lori and I were working on a class that we're doing for our Arkansas Yarn Co. retreat for felting. And so we were felting. And it was the first time I've ever done it. We were stabbing it. And it reminded me that of all the crafts I've seen on other podcasts lately, I've really been wanting to pick up like a punch needle set, but like a small one. I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to go down another rabbit hole. But I thought, oh, just a small punch needle set where it has everything you need in it would be cool if I could find one of that. Well, I went to Books A Million and they had this. So it has everything in it. And I was excited. I'm like, okay, well, there's a small little set of a cute little plant. So I'm going to, at some point, attempt this. All right. The one thing that I ordered a while ago, it goes into a Future Makes project. So I ordered this from my friend Christine. This is Treasure Goddess is the yarn. It is her Silk Treasures lace yarn. It is 80% super fine wool, 20% silk, 100 grams, 875 yards. So this is a lace weight, not mohair, not silk, just lace weight yarn. I ordered this because I will put up a picture. When I went to Kansas City a couple months ago for an event Christine had at her house, I also got one of these. If you've been around, you have seen this before. I got a skein of this. So I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to make, but 875 yards, I can make something with it. Well, if you've been around for a while, maybe a couple months ago, I don't know. But a while ago, I had just mentioned in the podcast that I have been itching to do some lace work, like some serious lace work. Like I felt it coming on. I really wanted to do it. I am doing some lace work for my retreat shawl, which, by the way, I also worked on, but it's at the store. That's my like knitting at the store stuff, so I don't have it here. But I really wanted to do like a real big like lace shawl or something. So that urge has still been there. So I have been looking at patterns, which ones I like, because I don't love all of them. And I found this shawl by Romi Hill, and it is called the High Desert Shawl. And I thought it was super pretty, lots of lace work. And I mean, it's huge. And I needed more yarn, surprisingly, over 875. I can't remember what it calls for, but I feel like it's 1100 or something like that. But so I ordered another skein of this lace weight, and I am planning on, at some point, once I can no longer wait, cast on that High Desert Shawl. So I'm super excited about that. Yes, it's in white. It's going to be gorgeous. I just have really been craving lace lately. So, and I think that would be a nice challenge because, you know, when you have like a lace motif, you can rip it out and correct it. But when you have a full lace shawl, like if you go off at all on your lace work, that your patterning is not right, and then it's like messed up the whole way across. So I'm really excited for the challenge, and I feel like my brain needs a little something more compared to all this knitting in the round tank tops and stuff, which I love, but I feel like this would be my at-home, no pressure, take my time shawl. So I'm really excited about that. All right, so that is it for this podcast, you guys. It is not beginning of the month, so we're no goals talk. I didn't really purchase much. I have ordered a couple of things that will be here by the next podcast. But that is all I have for you guys right now. So I thank you so much for being here. If you stuck it out to the end, thank you for being here. Please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.